In the summer of 2007, Finland's forests were at their quietest, that kind of stillness where even the wind seems like it's taking a nap. This is Lapland, a magical part of the world where the trees seem to swallow sound and the lakes hold secrets like they've been paid to keep them. Hikers absolutely love it. That empty but comforting vibe, the way the trails stretch for miles without another human in sight. You can really feel the freedom out there, right? That's where 32-year-old Alina Koskinen decided to take a solo trip, one she'd been planning for months. She was careful and experienced, raised in a Finnish household where you learn to pitch a tent before you learn to ride a bike. Her friends weren't worried at all. Solo hikes are practically a national hobby in Finland. So when she didn't return on the day she'd promised, everyone thought she'd just extended her trip, maybe stayed an extra night under the magical midnight sun. But then came day 2, and the calls went unanswered. By day 3, search crews moved in, volunteers in bright jackets spreading out across the quiet woods, dogs sniffing the mossy ground, and helicopters tracing lazy circles overhead. What really freaked everyone out wasn't just that Alina was gone, it was how she was gone. Her campsite was untouched, looking like she'd stepped out for just a minute, planning to come right back. The tent was perfectly zipped. Her backpack leaned casually against a tree, her water bottle still half full, and her boots placed neatly beside her sleeping bag. It was one of those eerie scenes that tells you nothing but suggests everything, leaving people with a chill and a million questions. What could have happened? Where could she possibly be? It was a mystery that would haunt the community and spark wild theories. The search stretched for weeks. Locals whispered theories that ranged from the rational, she fell, she got lost, she drowned in a lake, two things that only get said in towns sitting too close to ancient forests. People started talking about the vanishing trails, spots where compasses spin wrong, and hikers swear they hear footsteps behind them even though no one is there. True or not, the tension was real, the kind that makes entire communities hold their breath. Then, out of nowhere, after almost 3 weeks, Alina was found, alive, thin, dehydrated, but alive. A hunter spotted her walking along a service road miles from where her camp had been. She was barefoot, dazed, and covered in dirt like she'd been crawling through tunnels or old foundations. And when she finally spoke, her voice was so hoarse it sounded like it belonged to someone else entirely. Alina said she'd been taken. She described a man, or something like a man, stepping out from behind a birch tree the night she disappeared. She thought he was another hiker at first. He wore neutral colors, carried a large pack, moved like someone who knew the forest better than the forest knew itself. She'd barely had time to greet him before everything went black. When she woke up, she was underground, an old bunker, she said. Stone walls, a low ceiling, air so cold it felt wet. There was a bed, a bucket, and nothing else. According to her, the man didn't say much, but when he did, it was in Finnish. Only it had this old-school twist she couldn't quite place. Imagine that. He'd feed her now and then, mostly canned stuff, and he casually mentioned he'd been watching her routes for months. That's just creepy, right? He seemed to know every trail she took, every crossing, every shortcut. You go where the ground welcomes you. He told her one time, a phrase that still sends shivers down people's spines during interviews. She mentioned he'd vanish for long stretches, leaving her in total darkness. Can you picture that? In those moments, she took the chance to really study her surroundings. She spotted a rusted hinge on the floor, some kind of old ventilation shaft. It was tiny, barely wide enough for a person, the kind of detail someone overconfident might overlook. One night, when her captor didn't return, she felt that spark of desperation and forced the hinge loose with just her hands. She crawled through that narrow tunnel for what felt like forever, scraping her skin raw and pushing through darkness so tight she couldn't even lift her head. Talk about a test of will. Finally, when she popped out, she was back in the forest, but it was like stepping into a whole new world. Nothing looked familiar. It took her days, maybe even weeks, of wandering and retracing her steps to find her way to that service road. Can you imagine the relief when she finally saw it? Investigators searched for the bunker based on her descriptions, combing the forest with ground-penetrating radar, interviewing reindeer herders and hunters, even calling in old military records in case it was a leftover Cold War shelter. They found nothing, no bunker, no shaft, no signs of digging. The ground looked untouched, like the forest had healed over whatever happened down there. The police couldn't confirm Alina's story, but honestly, they were completely stumped trying to explain her disappearance any other way. Officially, they logged it as an abduction, but unofficially, it morphed into this eerie modern Finnish ghost story that everyone in town just can't stop talking about. You know how small towns are, right? Locals still whisper that the forest has a mind of its own, holding on to secrets and choosing sides like some mystical guardian. They say that somewhere in those vast woods, an old bunker entrance lies hidden beneath layers of moss and roots, just waiting for the wrong person to wander too close. After everything that went down, Alina made the tough choice to leave the region behind, and honestly, who could blame her? It's a place filled with memories that are hard to shake off, like a shadow that just won't go away. These days, she rarely gives interviews, but in one of the last ones she agreed to, she shared something that really struck a chord with everyone listening. He knew the trail better than I did. Better than anyone did. If he wants someone else, he won't make the same mistake twice. Can you imagine the chill that sends down your spine? It's like a warning echoing through the woods, right? In Lapland, just thinking about it makes hikers glance nervously at the trees, right? It's like they can almost feel those branches watching them a little too closely. Picture this. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig could be something lurking in the shadows, just waiting for the right moment. It's that unsettling vibe that keeps people on edge, reminding them that nature is full of mysteries we might never fully grasp. Even the most seasoned hikers admit to feeling a chill when they step into those woods, as if the forest itself is holding on to secrets it's not quite ready to spill. This wild mix of awe and fear is what keeps them coming back, yet it also makes them think twice about wandering too deep. Some folks even say the forest feels alive, like it's breathing, you know? They talk about how if you listen closely, you can almost hear the whispers of those who've come before, their stories woven into the very fabric of the trees. It's like a beautiful yet haunting reminder that nature isn't just a pretty backdrop. It's a sanctuary and a keeper of secrets, and who knows? Maybe there are things out there we're just not meant to uncover. Isn't that kind of thrilling and terrifying all at once? It definitely adds a whole new layer to the hiking experience.